Hi, I'm Samuel C. Spitali, author of How to Win the War on Truth. In this video, we'll look at the truth about vaccines and autism. The idea that vaccinations are linked to autism can be traced to a single, fraudulent scientific paper written by former Dr. Andrew Wakefield. Wakefield was a gastroenterologist, and in 1995, he claimed the measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR vaccine, caused inflammatory bowel disease. After this failed to gain traction, he reappeared in 1998, claiming a link between the vaccine and autism in a study that was published in the medical journal The Lancet. However, no such link existed. Soon after publication, hundreds of scientists from Europe, Canada, and the US tried to replicate his findings, studying hundreds of thousands of children and spending tens of millions of dollars in the process. But researchers found no such link. Those who received the MMR vaccine were no more likely to be diagnosed with autism than those who were not vaccinated. A British journalist named Brian Deer began to investigate Wakefield and his claims. In a series of articles published in the British Medical Journal, Deer revealed that Wakefield's study had multiple flaws. One, the study wasn't scientifically valid. The sample size was only 12 kids. Wakefield had altered or misrepresented the medical information of all 12. Some of the kids showed signs of autism before they received the vaccine. 3 of the kids did not even have autism. Several of the kids had been recruited through an anti-vax group, and other kids had been supplied by a law firm who was suing the manufacturer of the MMR vaccine. Wakefield also had multiple conflicts of interest that he failed to disclose. He had filed a patent application prior to publication to produce his own version of the measles vaccine, and he had helped launch startup companies to support this commercial endeavor. Additionally, Wakefield was paid roughly £500,000 by lawyers suing the MMR vaccine manufacturer in a class action lawsuit, the same ones who supplied some of the kids for his autism study. Wakefield's bogus vaccine-autism link was part of the law firm's legal strategy. Wakefield's 10 co-authors all withdrew their names from the study, and it was finally retracted in 2010. That same year, Wakefield lost his medical license and was banned from practicing medicine in the UK. But the damage was already done. A quarter of Americans now believe that vaccines cause autism. So, if vaccines are not the culprit, then what does cause autism? Because autism is a neurological disorder affecting the brain and nervous system, recent studies suggest it's likely linked to exposure to pollution or toxic chemicals in utero or early in life. Various industrial chemicals have been known to damage the brains of developing infants. But that's something only a neurologist, not a gastroenterologist, would know much about. Some scientists believe autism should be classified as an autoimmune disease, believing it to be the result of chronic inflammation that damages the blood-brain barrier. Chronic inflammation has been linked to a low diversity of gut bacteria in our microbiome, which is often found in children born via cesarean section. Children born by C-section are nearly twice as likely to develop autism than those born by vaginal delivery. Considering that cesarean births have risen from around 7% in 1990 to 21% today, they could be one factor leading to an increase in autism rates. Babies born through the vagina tend to develop a gut microbiome that closely mirrors their mother's. Babies born via C-section are less likely to receive their mother's microbes and are more likely to pick up bacteria from their surroundings, predisposing them to higher risks of developing several inflammatory diseases. Another factor that could explain why autism rates continue to rise is that people are having kids later in life. At the age of 40, men's sperm is more susceptible to mutation, which can increase the risk that their offspring will be born with autism, Down syndrome, or schizophrenia. Today, autism affects 1 in 45 children in the US, a rate that has tripled in the last 20 years. However, these growing rates could just be a matter of diagnosis. As rates of autism have soared in the US, diagnoses of mental retardation and learning disabilities decreased at nearly the same rate, suggesting that these labels might simply have gone out of style, replaced with a modern diagnosis of autism. Whatever the reason for the increase in autism, and despite what mommy bloggers, influencers, and former MTV hosts might claim, vaccinations do not play a role. To read more, check out my book, How to Win the War on Truth, and be sure to like and subscribe. Special thanks to Alan Wincup for the illustrations, and thank you for watching.